All right, with that, let's shift our attention now. The Supreme Court administration has taken an unprecedented step of writing to the union government seeking the official Chief Justice residence to be urgently vacated and returned to the court's housing pool. Now, the Supreme Court in its letter noted that it has a current document, the former CJI Chandrachud, and he has stayed beyond the permissible period. In a letter to the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, the Supreme Court has formally requested the government to take back the bungalow without any delay. Officials have noted that the retention permission expired on the 31st of May 2025. Sources close to the former CJI have told Times Now that he was already allotted an alternate accommodation by the government, but the house was in a poor condition, required major repairs and was not wheelchair accessible, which is a key concern since both his adopted daughters have special needs and are wheelchair bound. Sources stated that renovation work at the new residence was stalled due to the GRAP-4 pollution restrictions, which delayed the move further.
Former Chief Justice of India D.Y. Chandrachud is in the news for overstaying in his official residence even after retiring in the month of December in 2024. Now, he was allowed to stay for 6 months, but he didn't move out even after that time ended. He says that his new house wasn't ready and he needed more time because of his 2 special needs daughter. But now the Supreme Court has asked the government to take back the house. That's because of 4 sitting judges are awaiting their official residence. Now, former Chief Justice of India D.Y. Chandrachud has said that in a matter of days he is going to vacate his official residence and he is going to move to his new address.
So, Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs has received this letter from the Supreme Court. Let's tell you what this letter actually says. The extended stay of the former Chief Justice of India, D.Y. Chandrachud, is under the lens. So, the letter goes on to say, request to take back the bungalow, reclaim from the ex-CJI Chandrachud without any delay. This reclaim the residence or reclaim the bungalow. It then goes on to say that the retention permission has already ended on the 31st of May 2025, and it is a 6-month period under Rule 3B of 2002 that has expired, because of which the residence which he is currently occupied needs to be returned to the government. That is a letter that has been written by the Supreme Court to the government asking for the house to be reclaimed. Now, the Supreme Court has moved to reclaim the ex-CJI's bungalow, with sources saying that there is a reason why there has been a delay. Now, let's tell you what we have learnt from the ex-CJI's office, what sources have confirmed to us, that an alternate accommodation was in poor condition. What had been allotted was in poor condition and the house required some major repairs, and that was the reason why it was delayed. The house was not wheelchair accessible, which was a very important part of why he wanted it, because both his daughters have special needs and the house had to be wheelchair accessible. There was renovation that was taking place, but it had been stalled because of the GRAP-4 restrictions that had been put in place, remember, by the government to curb the pollution in the national capital. The government rented house was shut for over 2 years, and the under renovation that was taken up, the renovation that was taken up to suit the special needs of the daughters, because of that there has been a slight delay, which is why he was not able to move out of the current residence. So it has informed the Supreme Court and will be shifting as soon as it is ready. So the same has been informed to the Supreme Court, but the shifting will take place as soon as the new house is ready. It's just a matter of few days and the luggage is completely packed. That's what we've been told. Legal editor Harish Nair is joining us on the broadcast with the details. And Harish, this is unprecedented. The ex-CJI overstaying, that's a statement that has been made by the Supreme Court asking the government to step in and reclaim the house. Take us through the details of what the Supreme Court has said and the response by the ex-CJI.
Yes, that's right, Pratibha. Quite unprecedented. The Supreme Court administration under the Chief Justice B.R. Gavai has accused, it's a big allegation, a former Chief Justice of India, a very noted Chief Justice he was, Diva Chandrachud, who retired on November 10, 2024, of overstaying in his official residence, that is 5 Krishna Menon Marg, and has returned to the Ministry of Housing and Urban Development Ministry, seeking the official Chief Justice residence be urgently vacated. The Supreme Court administration on July 1 wrote to Centre seeking the official Chief Justice residence be urgently vacated and returned to the court's housing pool. Supreme Court has noted that Justice Chief Chandrachud has stayed beyond the permissible period, and the letter goes on to say, letter written to the Urban Affairs Ministry, Housing Ministry, says, I am to request you to take possession of Bangalore number 5, Krishna Menon Marg, from Honorable Dr. Justice Deva Chandrachud without any further delay, as not only the permission that was granted for retention has expired on 31st May 2025, but also the period of 6 months provided in Rule 3B of the 2022 rules has expired on 10th May. In fact, Times Now tried to get in touch with the Justice Chandrachud, and his office has responded, had told Times Now that it's just a matter of few days. Luggage is already packed up. The sources said that the delay related to issues faced by 2 adopted daughters with severe comorbidities and rare genetic problems who are wheelchair bound. So was looking for a wheelchair accessible residence. A house is now ready, just a matter of few days before he shifts. Luggage is all packed up. And also very significantly, the source said that Justice Chandrachud had in fact discussed the problems with subsequent Chief Justices, that is Justice Sanjeev Khanna and Justice B.R. Gawai, the present Chief Justice, and in fact officers of the Administrative Office of the Supreme Court. So the sources in the Office of Justice Chandrachud has attributed to the delay in shifting to personal circumstances about which the Supreme Court administration has been fully made aware of. He clarified that he had already been allowed an alternative accommodation by the government on rent for a limited period and was only waiting for it to be made livable, because that alternate house is actually in a bad shape. It required some renovation, and even the earlier Chief Justice Sanjeev Khanna had given him time till June, had considered giving him time till June 30th, but he had not heard anything from the present Chief Justice till this letter directed to MOHUA has surfaced.
Okay, all right. Harish, thank you for joining us with those details. We'll come back to you for those updates.